topic for you guys. We're gonna be talking about the Tampa Bay Rays, who were obviously off to that historic 13-0 start, and this discussion is really going to be about if the Rays can keep up that pace or if they'll slow down towards the. I don't want to say postseason since it's only April now, but yeah,
Yeah, it's very early in the year. The Tampa Bay Rays, obviously, as you mentioned, got off to that historic 13-0 start. Reigning AL Cy Young winner Shane McClanahan is obviously still going great. The Tampa Bay Rays have six players hitting over 300 this year, so that's gonna be interesting to see if they can sustain that. But the Tampa Bay Rays have run into a little bit of a cold streak, losing three of their last four games. I believe they just lost the series to the Toronto Blue Jays. So that would be interesting to see as well. But as for the question, can they keep up the pace to all 162 games? I think if McClanahan, Drew Rasmussen, they keep going, the best one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, Taj Bradley, if he can come up to the major league club and produce as well, throw maybe 60, 70 innings, I think, the Rays can keep up the pace. I think they will make the postseason, and I think they can keep up the pace. Evan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we just talked about the Marlins. I think the Rays are a more established version of the Marlins. Funny enough that they're in the same
Hmm.
state. Because
Yeah,
you got Alcantara in Miami and you got McClanahan in Tampa Bay. Obviously got some more prospects. I think Tampa Bay, when
both
I think
great
of,
pitchers, by the way.
yeah, when I
Both
think
great pitchers.
elite pitchers, yeah. When I
Yes.
think of Tampa Bay, I think of Tampa Bay and Cleveland have the best farms in the MLB. Maybe the Dodgers too. But the Dodgers spend big too. Cleveland and Tampa Bay don't really spend that huge, but they just develop these pitchers and they get them and they get to them major league ready and they stick around. So you got to give credit where that's due. Is this sustainable though? To kind of get back to the question, I think it's tough. If you look by the numbers, the Rays are like one of the. Jake was saying about how six players are batting above 300. That's great. We'll see if that sticks. Maybe two or three might stick. We'll see. But the thing I'm looking at is they are great in running and scoring position. I was actually looking. I don't know if these are still the accurate numbers, but I was comparing my Chicago White Sox, who, by the way, they play next week. The Rays will probably get back on track winning wise once they face them. But that's
Yeah.
another story. My point being though is that the White Sox had 20 more hits than the Rays, but the Rays had 20 more runs than the White Sox at that point. So what does that tell you? They hit in scoring position, and some people may say, "Well, that's going to change." I don't think so. I think if you're good with hitting and runners in scoring position, that is a good trait. That's not really like I don't know, like a seasonal thing. That doesn't really come and go. So I think the Rays, they got an established lineup. They got that pitching. Last couple times they made the World Series in 2020. Last couple times it's been disappointed in the playoffs. But as for the question and as for 162, yes, I definitely think. Now they're not going to win like 140 games or something like they were on track to. But yeah, I could see them being a 100-win team.
The Rays are first in home runs in the MLB. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Jordan, what do you think? Is this sustainable?
um, I I'm on the fence with that because of what the Rays schedule has been to this point. You've played the Nationals, you've played the Tigers and the A's. All all are I don't mean to hurt any feelings, but they're three of the worst teams in baseball.
Yes, which is
And
fair. Which is fair to say that. But what I will say to that is, if you do look at the numbers, it does look a little more sustainable. I agree. The A's are a joke. The A's are. If you watch them, they're 3-14. The Cubs just beat them 10-1 last night, so they're just getting better on it. Okay, take them out of the equation. I understand that. The other two teams, they're not great. Of course, they're one of the bottom barrels of baseball. But if you look at the numbers, I think this does show some sustainability. That's all I want to say.
and I
Yeah.
want to bring up the fact that the Rays are good, right? And
Yes.
if you're good teams beat bad teams like they're supposed to. So no one's going to fault the Rays for beating the A's, Tigers, and Nationals.